Hello everyone, my name is Roya and today is Top 5 Wednesday, and today's topic is books that can get you out of a reading slump. Before I get into the books though, this Top 5 Wednesday, of course, was created by Ginger Reads Laney and is hosted by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. And basically this whole topic of books to get you out of a reading slump, I feel like the books that are best for getting you out of a reading slump are ones that kind of plunge you right into the action right from the beginning, aren't very info dumpy, and also that kind of keep you reading. Crazy for Cornelia by Chris Gilson. And this book is about a neon artist who decides to get a day job as a doorman, and this job is actually at a rich people's apartment building in New York, and basically he ends up falling in love with this rich girl who lives there, who seems like she's a spoiled rich girl, but actually she has a weird obsession with Nikola Tesla and is building a Tesla museum, and people think that she's crazy and all this craziness. And so basically this book, like, if it were a movie, it would be a really terrible movie, but basically it features people in kind of extreme situations that would totally not happen, and people acting kind of not like people would really act in these situations. So with that in mind, like, basically you just kind of have to ignore how outlandish this book is to get the full enjoyment out of it. But basically that's what makes it, I think, a good book to get you out of a reading slump, is just because it's so out there. Next, we have Angel Fall by Susan E., and I picked this one basically because it is really, really fast-paced, and that even though it's like a post-apocalyptic story, it doesn't focus overly much on the survival aspect, but still ties that into the story a lot. And it's not super long. It's like all three books are fairly short, and a lot happens in them in like a really short amount of time. And basically that kind of combination would probably make it a really good book to get you out of a reading slump. Number 3 is Silent Night by Tori Phillips, and this book is one that I've talked about on this channel quite a bit. I read it last year for the first time ever, and basically it's a book that I was not expecting very much out of at all, but when I took it to work with me, I had read the first chapter before work, and then I left this one in my car and took a different book into work with me, but during all my breaks, I kept going back to my car to read this one instead. And I didn't want to take it inside with me just because it looks like a super cheesy book. I mean, look at this. So I've told that story in a video before, but basically that's how good this book is. I did not expect to be able to just not put it down. Number 2 is The Big Lie by Julie Mayhew, and this is a book about what the present day would probably be like if Hitler had won the war and all of Europe got taken over by Germany. So this takes place in England that is actually now Germany, and follows this girl who basically she starts out being like the perfect girl in that society and everything, but she actually is awakened to what's really going on and all this other stuff because she makes friends with this girl who is like really rebellious and doesn't approve of the society. So this is a dystopian book, like full of, oh no, what's gonna happen now kind of situations, and sort of bad thing after bad thing happens in it, and it's just a really, really good book. I gave this 5 stars when I read it. It is amazing, and it ended up being actually my favorite book of 2016. So I seriously highly recommend checking this one out. And finally, the number 1 book that I think is most likely to be able to get people out of a reading slump is The Last of the Fire Drakes by Farah Umerboy. And I do have a full review of this book that I did for BookTube Tours. If you want to check it out, I will leave a link to it down below. But basically this book really plunges you right into the action, even though the beginning of the book makes absolutely no sense. At the same time, I seriously could not put it down. As soon as I started reading it, I thought if I were in a reading slump right now, this would get me out of it. So those are the books that I think are the 5 that I could think of that would get you out of a reading slump. Let me know what books have gotten you out of a reading slump before. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a new video very soon. Bye!